There's a wide array of options and ways to add e-commerce to the website. They range from full-blown database-driven e-commerce solutions that reside on your host, a virtual server, or a dedicated server, to off-site hosted solutions such as eBay or Yahoo stores, or as easy and simple as adding a buy button to an existing site using Google or PayPal. All of these systems have benefits and drawbacks, but all the choices can basically be broken down into three groups. Those three groups are hosted solutions, standalone solutions, and simple solution. Let's take a moment to look at each one of those. First of all, let's look at what a hosted solution is. A hosted solution, like here the example of Yahoo stores, is where the entire e-commerce capability is offloaded to a third-party vendor. The site and everything is hosted on their system. We can see here that Yahoo gives some good examples of stores that were developed using their system. And it is pretty flexible, although there's quite a learning curve involved. But with these hosted solutions, you can have a fairly robust system up very quickly. But there are some disadvantages. Another vendor that a lot of people use is eBay. If we scroll down on their page here, it shows that there is a fair amount of customization available, but your users will basically always know that it's an eBay store. But that's okay. If it fits into your business model and your customers expect it, that's just fine. And a lot of businesses do a lot of business on these type of solutions. But there are disadvantages to examine. First of all, on these systems, everything is housed, again, on their servers. So later, if you should decide to change, there's a real problem because you're tied into their system very tightly. And so changing later can be quite a problem. But again, if their systems fit what you need, then this may not be a problem, but it's something to look at. Next, there's the standalone solutions. Standalone solutions are a complete, self-contained, full-featured e-commerce application, including database, programming platforms such as ColdFusion or PHP, that resides on your host server, virtual private server, or even a dedicated server. There are many advantages to having a full-featured, self-hosted site, and we'll cover those topics at great length later in the course. But first, let's look at a couple of examples. Here's an example of a standalone solution. As you can see, it is a very robust database-driven site with many, many products, and it offers the developer or site owner a great deal of control over how the products are displayed and how they're sold. We can see another example here. A standalone solution offers the merchant and the designer a great deal of flexibility in the look, feel, and presentation of the products, and is an ideal solution if your needs call for it. And again, there's the simple solution. A simple solution is primarily having a standard HTML-driven website and then selling items from that site by using a third-party service. You can simply add a buy button to your site. The person purchases the item by going to a third-party vendor and then returns to your site. This simple solution makes it very easy for a developer or designer or a merchant to sell a few items from a basic site without incurring the expenses or the complexity of a hosted solution or a standalone solution. The important thing is of these, let's see what fits your needs best and then pick the right solution. For the time being, let's focus on the simple solution and see if that will work. So what exactly is the simple solution? Let's assume that you have a standard HTML website that represents you or your company, and you have a couple items you would like to sell online. For example, a self-published book or manual or some craft items that you make, and you simply want to add them to your website and sell them online. The simple solution is an ideal choice for this type of e-commerce site. So what are some of your options? Two of the most common options are Google Checkout and PayPal. We'll briefly look at each one of these and weigh what the differences are and take a look at what services they offer. First of all, Google Checkout, as we can see, operates basically the same way as PayPal. They both allow you to put a checkout button on your site. Here they give us an example of how that works. You'll add a product to your site with a checkout button. The user will then click the buy button. At that point, they're taken to Google Checkout servers where they enter their information. This offloads the complexity of gathering user information and credit cards off to their servers. Once they fill it out, they place the order, and then they're returned to your site to a page that you designate to say thank you. If we look at PayPal, their system works pretty much the same way. You sign up for a PayPal account, which we'll cover later. They provide you a script that you add to your site. You add that script to the code of your site. And it's a pretty simple process. And then you're provided an e-commerce application like this, where they simply click on the PayPal button. And upon clicking on that button, they're taken to the PayPal servers to gather the order, and then they're returned to your site. You can see that this is a pretty simple solution, and it's not very robust. You wouldn't want to be using this for 100 different products. But if you've just got 2 or 3 items to sell, it's a good way to go. When deciding on which solution is best for you, it's important to decide what your long-term needs are going to be. The primary deciding factor in whether a simple solution is right for you or not is where you see your website going. If you just have a few items that you're going to sell and you don't plan on expanding any larger, then that may be a perfect solution for you. If you have larger needs, you may want to look at a more robust solution such as the standalone. Adding e-commerce capabilities to your website can range pretty much from quick and easy to very complex. The associated expenses of adding e-commerce to your website is also a factor to consider. For many, the ease and simplicity of going to a hosted solution such as Yahoo Stores or eBay offers the simplicity and speed to market that they're looking for. If this choice sounds interesting to you, I would recommend that you look at some stores using these systems, or perhaps even email or talk to a few merchants to see what they think, to see if this may be right for you. For the remainder of this course, we will be focusing on adding e-commerce capabilities directly to your site.